The Arewa Consultative Forum says the detained leader of the proscribed secessionist group, the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, cannot be trusted and should not be granted amnesty as he once jumped bail in 2017 and fled the country. The Pan-Northern Socio-Political Organization is urging President Muhammadu Buhari to follow the rule of law and leave the IPOB leader to face trial for the terrorism-related charges brought against him.
Well, we are now going to spend some minutes exploring all matters relating to the buildup to the All Progressives Congress National Convention. In addition to last week's Igbo's leaders' delegation to President Buhari, asking for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. And to help us to do all of that is Osita Okechukwu, the Director General of the Voice of Nigeria and a chieftain of the All Progressives Congress. Welcome, sir. We'd like to welcome you to Newsday. Yes, so let's start off with the movements of the bill and the APC. Can you give us your comments on what you think about the party and how things will go come 2023?
We are, to start with, we're a progressive party. We're progressive. We live by the constitution of the APC and the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So we are guided by the rule of law. So I'm one of those who supports any date that will bequeath a united, harmonious, and dynamic party to the new ESCO. Because if you hurry and you bequeath a broken house to a new ESCO at the eve of a general election of 2023, that would be disastrous for us. So I support the consensus decision that Mr. President endorsed by pushing the National Convention of our great party to February 2022. I have confidence that His Excellency M.M. Buni's Caretaker Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee, the CPC, will be in a position to pick the pieces, because the day that we were inaugurated, I had my empathy for them, because if we cast our mind to the damage done by the Comrade Oshimole-led executive, I know it will not be very easy to pick the pieces. So if they are in a position to also redress some of the outcome of the congresses, the ward, the local council congress, and the state congresses, and they are in a position to give us a more united, harmonious party to the incoming executive, that would be good, because that executive have a lot of challenges ahead. One, 2022 will be at the eve of the crucial 2023 general election. There will be primaries to the House of Assembly, primaries to the Federal House of Representatives, primaries to the Senate, gubernatorial primaries, and presidential primaries. So about 5 primaries lined up for 2022, because going by INEC's own position dates, INEC had told us that the general election will start in February 2023. So no reasonable political party will count 2023. So all your arrangement going by the Electoral Act and by the Constitution in terms of nomination of candidates will be completed by 2022. So it will be healthy and very, very necessary that the Buni committee will hand over a united and harmonious APC to the incoming executive. We don't know who will become the chairman.
All right, Mr. Okechukwu,
the chairman, no matter.
Permit me to actually interject at this point. And you were speaking about Mai Mala Buni, talking about the caretaker committee chairman. so many people, there are several dissenting voices within the ranks of the party who are not happy that he's still the caretaker committee chairman. Extending this particular Congress till 2022, February to be very precise, wouldn't this help even exacerbate what is already a very tense atmosphere within the APC?
I've heard of voices. They have some points, but if you have been in politics like some of us who have been in politics for over 40 years, partisan politics at that, if you were there when the APC was constituted in 2013, and you've gone through the constitution of the APC and the tendencies that make up the APC, if there's crisis, you won't be surprised. But how the crises are managed, how the conflicts are resolved, how the disputes are resolved is very germane. And from my observation of the Buni-led committee, they have been doing so well in trying to galvanize, because as I said earlier, the executive that we last had in 2018-19 kind of smashed the APC. So it's not very easy to pick the pieces. I'm happy as well that Mr. President had taken time off, unlike Mr. President that I know, to be looking into what is going on in the APC. So those who wanted us to rush to a convention in December, they have some points, but what they did not countenance or give prominence was what will happen to a broken house. How will the new executive start again? To start a reconciliation? That wouldn't be the best for any executive. And the executive that is at the threshold, going to the primaries, and these are election primaries. When you are trying to come to my constituency today to say you want to nominate somebody who is going to the House of Assembly, it's not an easy game. Because most of the youths that make up the APC, majority of our membership are youths. Most of them want to go to the House of Assembly. Some want to go to the Federal House of Reps. Some even to the Senate, and some want to be governors. It's a big task. So you need a harmonious and united house. Oh. I'm not saying it will be 100% at the end of the day, but I'm saying that what they have done, like for instance in Enugu where I come from, the Congress did not go well, but they have taken time to start meeting the tendencies, trying to resolve.
Mr. Okechukwu,
in certain states.
Mr. Okechukwu, just for the sake of time, we want to move the discussion just a little bit to the recent news about Nnamdi Kanu. Now, the Arawa Council are against Buhari giving him clemency or amnesty, and we're wondering what your position is on this.
My position is very simple. There is no saying in where I come from that says most of the time, if the hen and the kids wander into the bush and they were about to be smashed by the kite hovering in the sky, that the first thing you do is to get the sky out and call back the hen and say, please don't wander into the bush anymore. So I didn't want Mr. President and the leadership of the Igbo people that met him, led by the first Minister of Aviation of our dear country, a 93-year-old elder statesman, that could not meet the president when the president came to Imo State in September, because by then he lost his wife, and he told Mr. President he wouldn't be able to worry, that please, I'll find time to see you. And luckily, when the president now said, okay, I have time to discuss with you, he picked some of our leaders, and he was pungent in the requests. He went to the extent of him saying, Mr. President, peace will be better, political solution will be better. Yes, we know that the kite has trailed into the bush. The hen had strayed into the bush. Let's call the hen back, and let's in-house resolve our matter. Because this is an Igbo group whom one can claim that we are one of the most patriotic in the country. We live in every village of the country. We invest in every village. We cannot, because of some elements within our fold, to forget that peace and political solution. And Mr. President said yes, It's a very difficult situation, but I will give it consideration. So for some of us, we think the best we do is that Mr. President should help us to come to that decision. And we're also calling an IPOP and their tendencies to look backwards and change gear and support some of us who are saying that today, going by the zoning convention that came with the birth of the Fourth Republic in 1999, that there was a convention of zoning that says after the north, it goes south, and when it's coming to the south, our brothers in the southwest have had 8 years, our brothers in the south have had 5-6 years. We are the only geopolitical zone. So IPOP should back us because we have a valid point. It's only because of their stance that some people are becoming worried and reticent. So I'm pleading with IPOP that they should change their gear. Yes, if they are talking of Igbo marginalization, that Nigeria president of Igbo extraction in 2023 will put an end to the last call of the Civil War and the last call of marginalization.
Mr. Okechukwu, I would
so
like you...
if you are saying you are marginalized...
I would want a very straight answer from you, because some people of Southeast extraction have been saying that if convicted, or rather, if terrorists and bandits will have probably caused a wreaked havoc to humanity and to society, are being given amnesty, and the president is still having time to think about it, which, if you'd ask me, the IPOP group actually fall into that particular category. What is stopping him? That probably he's just peppering through towards that particular narrative, that he's very selective towards the North as against the South. What do you have to say to that?
For some of us who have been with Mr. President over the years, we know him better than that. So, Mr. President, we are pleading with him that after consultation, he should grant him amnesty, and IPOP should pay back by changing their gear. Their narrative is negative to the corporate education of the country. You cannot probate and approbate. So I'm calling on IPOP that what you're looking for will get by a Nigerian president of Igbo extraction in 2023. That issue of marginalization will end. That we're doing well across the country. Yes, Kano, you go to Kano, we're second population in Kano out of every tribe. We're living there, we're investing there. We're second population in Lagos out of every tribe. If you come to Abuja, the same thing. Go to every nook and crannies of the country. So which group are they representing? They're not representing the majority of the Igbos. The majority of Igbos are doing well across the country. Yes, on the federal level, we have not presided over the country since we returned back to democracy, and except for the 6 months of Fagi Ironsi. So we have a valid point. All we need is IPOP to change gear and support an agitation for Nigeria president of Igbo extraction in 2023. I think it's our turn.
All right.
And we need them to support that base.
We need everyone to be in support of peace and harmony for the country. Thank you so much for coming to talk with us this afternoon, Mr. Osita Okechukwu.